What's going on, everybody? We're going to switch over here. Let's see. Did I flip? I did. I flipped you, Reagan. What's going on, everybody? How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, thank you.
How is everybody? Steelwind, thank you so much for the tier 3. Ooh. Thank you, Steelwind. I appreciate that, dude. Do I have the camera on the right settings? I definitely do not. Hold on a second, chat. I recorded that video.
Is it not focusing on you?
No, it's not. Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. All right. What's going on, guys? Hello. Are those your birds or mine? Those are my birds. The birds chirping in the background. I have the window open. Listen, guys, it's like infinity degrees here, basically. And I'm sweating. And I'm just turning on every form of cooling that I possibly humanly can. But Space, Chase, chat, how are you guys doing tonight? It's Sunday afternoon. Here in Canada, it's a long weekend. Suckers.
We have a long weekend next weekend, correct? Isn't that right, Reagan?
Do you guys?
Do we?
Is the next weekend? Is it? Somebody will tell. It's Memorial Day, I believe.
I don't look at calendars.
I believe next weekend's Memorial Day here. Yep. Okay. Yes.
Is it Memorial Day?
We don't have Memorial Day off. Okay, we're working Memorial Day.
What day does Reagan take off?
Cerakote machines never sleep, says Just Bury Me. That's true.
Fair. That's fair. Alex, you said it was nice and warm there today. Do you guys not use air conditioning often up there?
Hold on, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I would love to use the air conditioner, but other people in my house don't really want to use it. They think it's gonna cost us infinity dollars to turn it on.
It's a scam.
So, yeah, most likely a scam, dude.
Reagan, you use the AC like every single day of the year pretty much, right? Unless it's below like 40 degrees.
So I do. I do. My AC is on now. Yeah, it's set to a cool 72.
72.
Cool 68 when I sleep, 72 right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of big numbers that I don't understand.
Okay, yeah, I forget the conversion from, as you call them, freedom units to...
Freedom units, dude. We have a question. We have a question from SVS. Thoughts on 4-post tray mounts. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I think everyone here can agree. Most tray mounts, if you just do it with all the tray mount points on it, usually sounds and feels okay at best. Not a bad thing. Not at all. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good thing. I mean, it works. So I think the fun part about a tray mount case is you don't have to use all those. One thing that we experimented with was we used some polyfill and actually use that as it's weird. We actually use that as a pseudo. Oh, there's fireworks happening outside. That's not gunshots, guys. It's fireworks. All right. We use that as a pseudo gasket or something to make it more bouncy. So that was really, really fun. If it gets really noisy, I'm gonna close the window.
And what board was that in?
We did that in the tofu. We posted it on YouTube as well. But
that's right.
Fireworks so early. Dude, I wish there was fireworks happening during the day. I literally don't understand it. It's just weird. People are like, I'm gonna go to bed at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We do it now. Why are there fireworks? So it's Victoria Day. Apparently it's the Queen's birthday. I don't really follow, so.
Victoria Day.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, that's my opinion on tray mount cases. I think you can get them to sound great. I think the only tray mount case, which I did everything by the book. Well, not even. Well, the Salvation has special stuff in it. I'm going to go by the standard issue tray mount had to be the Clip A. And I think Chase is nodding his head. The Clip A was perfecto to me. That was a nice board. I think that sounded great, and you didn't have to do anything weird to it. Sure, I can probably try, but.
Yeah, I really, really want to try their... What's the one... They're higher level tray mount boards still. The... it's going to bother me.
The which one?
Mechanist. The Fiel. Is that right?
The Fiel, yeah. Probably the Fiel.
I want to try that board. Those look fantastic. That has the brass weight in it and everything. And the angles... that's a really cool looking board.
Sure, Chase it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of new boards that are... No, that's no big deal. There's even the blade. I don't know. Has you guys seen the blade that's coming out?
Fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's the angles of it remind me of that... I don't know. It's kind of like the 5-degree case that they sell, but just more extreme. So a lot more crazy angles on it and stuff.
And I think that's the one thing about keyboards right now that I really like lean towards. Isn't even so much like, for me, obviously the typing feel and typing sound are very important to me. But what makes me really kind of lean in and go, interesting, is some of these new case designs that we've been seeing. Like, even though I did not like the jelly, I think the jelly was very much interesting, you know, because it's my thing disconnecting here. This was really fun to build today. This is the piggy. It has big bezels.
Is that is that by the same guy who did the S7 elephant?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. Those giant bezels look.
So the piggy was really cool. So that's what I've been kind of interested in. I think the blade also does that for me too, is like, oh wow, this is different, and I can respect that. That's why I even like that really ridiculous one that we looked at called the Axe 60, which is like super embellished, and I don't know if I'd ever use it myself, but it's something I can look at and be like, this is different, you know? Have we seen Glars's new video? I have not seen it today.
No, I have not. It came out like an hour ago, I think.
Did it?
I saw it. It's doing really well. He has a GeonWorks board that was custom made for Mr. Tommy in it. The Stellar 65 makes a debut in it for 2 seconds.
Oh.
And so does our cable. So
Nice.
Hey.
yeah.
There you go.
We actually made a cable for Mr. Tommy. It's got some of his stuff engraved on it. It's pretty funny.
I will definitely have to watch that video after the stream.
Tommy's a big social media presence as well, from what I understand too. I haven't really caught any of his stuff, but yeah, he's a pretty big social media influencer. So cool to see worlds of keyboards colliding and stuff too.
Yeah, really cool to see Glars's kind of going out there and kind of expanding the community and everything like that. And I don't know. He's doing exactly what he's wanted to do, so I'm glad to see him accomplishing that now. It's really cool.
Yeah, and he got him to come over. That was really cool.
How does that work exactly? I don't know how. I only know my countries.
Well, they live close to each other.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is within the same country, so I didn't know.
Yeah, they're both in England.
Okay. Now I just need Glars's to get a better microphone. I think that's also one of the big things about Glars's, though. It's like, you go there because it's not super high quality. It's like, it feels more like intimate in a way. Yeah, like home video, intimate. Yeah. Like, this is between two friends. There's the bromat. So, but I think that's a huge joy about the keyboard world. There's so many different venues for content creation that it's really interesting to see. And you know, at the end of the day, like, this is only most likely, even if it gets 5 new people into the hobby, that's a good thing for this hobby.
Yes.
Because the more people in it, meaning there's going to be more people who want to get things, and who knows, maybe one of those people is like a big time designer, right? So then they can design cool things. So it's always a good thing to get both consumers, people who want to work in the hobby. A lot of fun stuff, right? A lot of fun stuff. I'm late. What did I miss? We haven't really started too much. Replicant, how you doing, my guy? Anyone know how to make cream skulls with kiwis? I think it would be the same recipe, just cream stems and kiwi housings. I don't know if it would be any different though.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be a cool colorway for sure.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
My Discord just went crazy.
Did it?
Yes.
What'd it do?
I don't know. Everything went black for a second. I'm back.
Oh, you're really choppy. Oh, thank you, dude.
I know.
Apple 14M, thank you so much for your Prime, dude. I appreciate you, man. I wonder how well the Streamer X custom key videos work. I don't see streamers using their custom boards for very long. I think it's very cool content for bringing people in, and it makes for cool collaboration content. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, I know with big gamer streamers, they're probably not going to be using those keyboards for competitions and stuff, nor are they going to train on those keyboards, because regulations in that competition world, you can't be using those keyboards, right? Yeah. It's going to be mostly for personal use. So you might not see it debut a lot. Chase,
and a lot. Well, I was gonna say, and a lot of those big guys, those big streamers, typically run with like 2 PCs. So they'll have a PC dedicated to playing the game, and one dedicated to sharing them playing that game. So I wouldn't doubt that some of those keyboards go to the stream PC as just to mess with that, but not actually to play the game on necessarily. But
yeah,
I saw a question earlier from Bobby No, said thoughts on 3D printed cases. And I'll tell you what, Bobby, I'm a big fan of 3D printed cases.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're
really
really cool. They
Yeah.
sound really cool. They're fun. They're cheap. I mean, that's the coolest thing about them is like, there's some people doing some really cool stuff with 3D printed cases, and you can get some really cool designs, really cool layouts that otherwise would cost you quite a bit of money just because the amount that they're selling. So
I agree with that
Yeah.
completely.
it's really
Yeah.
they're really cool.
I have like 2 or 3 PLA 75s that I still need to build.
And they
They're, like,
recently lowered the price of
right
that
here.
too, which is pretty awesome. And I was mentioning
Oh,
this
nice.
earlier on the stream this morning, how they took feedback about pricing and some other stuff and applied it to their business model, which is cool too. The joy about having some 3D printed stuff, A, it can look really cool, and B, it's not supposed to be an expensive project, which I'm glad the guys from the team from PLA 75 did that. And we're seeing a lot more of like even I'd say like more mid-range budget, I'll use the word budget, acrylic cases, Reagan being one of the people who vendored some of those too, pop up too, which is, they're fun projects, right? Like, not every keyboard needs to be a high-end keyboard.
Sure.
The PL75 is nice as hell. I agree. The
Yeah.
Phoenix 45, I haven't seen that one there.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for P3D Store. I think I've talked about P3D Store a few times before. And right now, they finished a group buy for their Yoink recently, and now I think they're selling it in stock, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and link it here because I just think it's such a fun little... I love this layout.
Okay, I'm going to close my window now. Okay, you guys keep talking. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just think I love like the 40% with arrow keys. It's
Yeah, I had to type. Actually, the first time I got to type on a 3D printed board was when Chase came and visited like about a month ago or so, and got to try it out. That was really cool.
Yeah, the Karina from P3D Store, little 35% with it's actually over there with the
Yeah, with the 2 rotaries and the LED
two
strip.
rotaries. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
only
is
thing I
it
couldn't get behind was the right space bar was backspace or something, and that was killing me on the I got like 36 on the typing test, 36 words per minute.
Yeah.
Which one's backspace? Is it the right space bar?
No, it's the left one that's left one is space, right one is backspace. Yeah.
See, that messes me up because I do right thumb, right side backspace on Alice always. I can't. I mean, I haven't really ever trained to do left side backspace, so that really messed me up. But I was like spacing and backspacing, and it was bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy to get used to, but it's fun to mess with every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's one of the things I wanted to kind of bring up today as well. There's 2 things. We'll start off with this. I was going through some Twitter messages and just even some IG messages, and there seems to be a lot of misconception with keyboards. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, both in chat and Mr. Chase and Reagan, that a lot of, I guess, stream content and content you see, ads and stuff, is typically high-end builds because it brings in viewership. I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think a lot of the people buying more here's my observation with this. People who are buying more budget options aren't going to spend money in terms of shipping and then labor costs to get someone to stream it for them. Most likely they're doing it themselves. While I have had some people reach out with tofus and some other, really fun budget stuff, a lot of times people are doing it themselves, especially if the budget stuff contains like a Hotswap PCB.
Yeah.
So it's not that those aren't being streamed, it's most likely people are doing it themselves. It's a cost-effective build, so why would I break that cost-effectiveness just to have someone build it for me?
Do you think what it is the fact that the people who are buying those expensive boards don't mind spending a little bit of money to send it to somebody that they think can build it better than themselves, basically?
No, I think with the high-end boards, are you talking about the high-end boards?
Yeah, like what you're like. Are you saying that you think the reason we see more high-end boards by streamers is because people who
don't want to risk it? Yeah.
They don't want to do it themselves. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. And like what Gambit said too, like even some of my own content, like some of the most, that tofu video where we just stuffed, technically it'd be pennies worth of polyfill inside of it just to see what it sounded like and stuff like that. That had to be one of like the most fun videos we did in a little while, and one of the most commented videos too in a little while, just because like it sparks conversation. Because first of all, when I put out a piece of content, and when anyone else does too, talking about a high-end keyboard build, let's just say the Piggy in this case, guess what? The Piggy's already over. It's done. No one's buying this. Right? So even from my perspective, it's not always the best thing to do. Usually it's the more readily available stuff, talking about budget things that get more people interested that are in a price bracket that does. To kind of go on, sorry, Chase?
My bad. I was going to say, for instance, like Glarsis, when he did the video on the PewDiePie keyboard, like that keyboard
that's
is
expensive.
I mean, obviously there's a name. Yeah, the price is probably a little high for what it is, but that obviously the name associated with it too. But like that, for instance, I mean, like that's just, people see the name PewDiePie and people are looking at. There are definitely people who are probably considering buying that keyboard, and that pops up on their recommended, and all of a sudden, they're in the Glarsis funnel of content.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. And I think to answer and address some questions about what gets published online by content creators and just what gets advertised the most, I do think there's a very healthy balance between budget and high end, but I do think the more regular client builds and stuff you see as more regular content isn't going to be budget, because people, again, are buying budget to fit within a budget. They're not going to go ahead now and spend more on getting someone to build it. It was just something I wanted to bring up because I do think it's important to talk about. Because I guess the concern was, and maybe let me know if you guys share this sentiment in chat. The concern is, too many times do high-end boards get this opinion of being the best in the market, when I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I personally really love the sound of acrylic boards. I thought the Bakaneka was great. I thought the Icky 68 is probably my favorite keyboard to come out in the last year and a half in terms of what it offers to the community for a price point that's under $150. Right? So I do think there's a lot of value to be had in those boards. But I guess to kind of set, the record straight is I do think there's a lot of... I do think that, yes, there's a lot of repetition with high-end boards. But at the end of the day, I think you can get a $100 case, a $50 case, whatever it is, whatever you want to do to fit your sound preference, to fit your mold, just as well as a $500 key colt, let's just say. So, and just like what Jeff A just said, best is subjective, right? Same can be said with headphones, that's for sure too. Also, what are you defining as high-end? I think when people think high-end, they're thinking price point. But that's literally it. They're thinking price point. They're correlating price with quality.
Yeah, price, materials, brand.
Yeah. Pause Bros asks, how can I grow my Twitch stream more, because I am going to do a $10 gift card giveaway when I hit 200 followers, but my rate is going to take 1 year. Pause, I'm going to give you the best piece of advice ever. Don't do giveaways, dude. Just work on fulfilling. Giveaways are temporary follows. Just do what makes you happy. Show people what makes you happy. If people can relate to you being happy doing what, doing something that you do that makes them happy, they're going to follow you. There's going to be that relationship of, oh, this makes me happy. This triggers dopamine in my body. I'm happy about this. Just do what makes you happy. That's it. I wouldn't rely on giveaways for anything like that.
And on top of that, do what makes you happy, not what gets you followers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
There's going to be people who are drawn in by personality and what you do, regardless of what you do in life. The more that you can put your foot down and be like, okay, I'm not going to succumb to easy measures to get things. Yeah, it might be a bit harder and more of a grind, but I think people will respect you more, and it's not going to be temporary or anything like that too.
The first time I heard a case that cost over $700, I realized most good $400 cases sound the same. Yeah, with pricing, there's a lot of factors involved. So it's you might not be the extra $300 might not go to sound. It might be the brand of the board you're buying, the exclusivity, the lead time. There's so many factors that determine why a vendor or a designer has priced their items in such a way. I wouldn't say oh, it's $700, but this $400 board sounds just as good. It's every aspect of this keyboard, of the keyboard community is subjective.
Yeah. Yeah, and I this is the other thing I wanted to talk about today, because this has been getting asked for some reason,
thank you, dude.
so often. And Gnarls is Bailey, thank you so much for the Prime, dude, for 5 months. Oh wait, my Zoom doesn't work on this one. Thank you, dude. You're looking hella cute today. One question that I've been getting asked that I kind of want to talk to you guys and get your opinion on everything too. The question is, hey Alex, I'm looking to buy this keyboard. It costs $400. Is this a good investment? Because if I don't want it in 4 years, can I sell it for the same amount? Dude, cool. I guess from my perspective, here's my thoughts on this. Can we not look at keyboards as monetary investments? If you start looking at anything like that in life, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah, invest in something because you like it, and if it holds its value, then that's great. But it shouldn't be like the main proponent in you buying something. I guess is holding the value. Like you should.
Thank you, Dong, for the Prime. Because here is my thing. First of all, kind of like what Gambit said, there's no guarantee for anything in 2 years. Second of all, don't listen to your favorite streamer if something's gonna be worth it. Or don't listen to your friends if something's gonna be worth X amount of dollars. Third of all, I think from an outside perspective, you kind of look like I guess there is that mindset of, well, I want to flip this. And I guess the big thing for me is, if you're looking at a hobby that's supposed to be enjoyable to you, unless for some reason you don't view it as a hobby, but let's just say you do, then why does selling this in the future make a number one question or a number two question or a pre-purchase question pop up in your head? Are you really enjoying the hobby at that point? And if the answer is yes, and you're still asking that, then please, by all means, challenge me with my thinking there. But I guess for me, it's just I've never once looked at this and be like, I've never picked up a mouse and been like, oh boy, can I resell this later if I don't like it? So what changes now with a keyboard? What changes from an article of clothing? I've never had those thoughts personally. I've never been like, is this a good invest? I think the only thoughts I've ever had that for was when I need to buy something that I don't want to buy. And if you don't want to buy the keyboard, then you probably shouldn't buy it.
Yeah, I don't know that even past just monetary value, thinking of things from a is this keyboard going to sound better or feel better than my last keyboard? I don't think I've even bought a keyboard for that type of reasoning. I guess everything I've purchased has very much been I want to get this and see what I can do with it and see how I can make it feel or sound different.
Yeah. Because even if you do build it with exactly the same switches and stabs as your last board, it's going to sound different. And it's that sound you're looking for can be changed so drastically by switching out the type of plastic keycaps you have, or the switches, or so many factors.
Yeah, I just think people are not necessarily looking at things through the wrong lens, but kind of looking at everything as if there's a definite winner of what is the best keyboard, or even asking if it's a good investment. I don't know, that's so bizarre to me, considering.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm trying to figure out too, Chase, is I haven't had those questions of, is this a good investment? And it's not because I have the money to buy things or something. It's just, even when I was younger buying cameras, and I would work weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to pick up some silly attachment for a camera. It was dude, I can't wait to do things with this. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to do more. And I see some very interesting comments in the chat as well. Very interesting. Well, but what's going on, dude? What's the rate of investment on Alex subs? Probably $0. You just got scammed, my dude.
Get scammed.
Just got scammed. What's up, Wilba? How you doing? I guess I see a lot of really good points in the chat too. You never invest in something you love. When I think that's for me, that's also very interesting to hear. And I see some comments saying that, is it wrong to sell something afterwards? Absolutely not. It's not wrong to sell something. No one's shaming you for selling anything, right? T.Y. Pareto, thank you so much for the tier 1. I think to kind of clarify, we're talking about going into a purchase, not selling something in the long run. Everyone's able to sell things. No one's shaming you for that.
If you buy a GMK set or a keyboard and look, we all know that the model of our communities, the way sales operate, is weird. You wait a very long time, and preferences can change in a week. So if you wait 7 to 8 months and you get a keyboard and you're like, I'm gonna sell this sealed. I don't even care about this anymore. That's okay. Like, it's okay. Sometimes I buy stuff and I'm like, if I don't like it, as soon as I get this, I'll sell it. It's not a big deal.
I mean, even past that, if you keep it for 6 months and get
then
like
you want to sell it,
your
okay
fix out of it, if like you had a good time with it, but then you're like,
That's
you know,
okay.
I'm not using this anymore.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with selling.
Wrong with it.
No.
I think it's the intention, because this is kind of where like this flipper mindset comes in, and what you guys know my thoughts on that is, if you go into a purchase with the intent of, is this a good investment? I think that's also playing the line. It might not be for everyone. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate in this place. It's now playing with that very thin line of, well, if I buy 3 of these, I can resell them, like, type thing. Or, you know, like, what's the next step? You know, if you go into every purchase, if this is a good investment, you know, like, you're just kind of also setting yourself up for disappointment. And I'm not saying you should. Obviously, there's things in life that you should. Like, for me, when I was like working my photography job, it was a lot of, damn, like, I don't really want to buy this lens, but I kind of need it for what I'm doing at work. Is there a resale value for this? You know, and there's nothing wrong with you thinking that, even with a lot of things in life. I'm curious what you guys thought about that. Because for me, with keyboards, especially a hobby where it's like none of these things are a necessity, like, we don't need the latest keyboard to make a difference in our workflow, unless there's something crazy about it. These are literally like luxuries. You can do the same thing with a Microsoft keyboard that costs $19.99 from Best Buy. You know,
yes,
it's
Jozo.
not what happened. Don't buy with the intention of reselling. Yeah, simple as that. You know, with a lens, that does a lot different things. They perform differently on a different level, and there's certain clients who want certain things. Obviously, we'll just use that for an example, right? But with a keyboard, it's still an input that doesn't change other than aesthetics and some feel, for that matter. But again, it's not like, it's a little different, right? And that's kind of where I try to find myself thinking, even from a financial aspect. If I have that mindset of, hey, if this is a good investment, do I really need it? Do I really need that thing? Is this going to really change my life if I'm already thinking about that? You know?
Yeah. Also, though, I also think that if you purchase something during a group buy, like, oh wait, what did Chozo just say? You need to cover certain things like seller fees and shipping, but that should be it. I think that if you join a group buy, you can inflate the cost when you sell it. And the reason I say that is because you spent your money, and that's the same reason why vendors can increase the cost of extras pricing, is because you have that in-stock tax. So the person you're selling it to doesn't have to wait the group buy duration. They've had that, you know, group buy money that you spent, and now you can tax it a little. Like, I'm okay with that, but
yeah. Well, I think that's a very fair question, and it also begs another thing too of, listen, that's totally fair. And I've purchased things. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like say that I've purchased things for way more than what they're worth, because like obviously it's not available anymore. I wanted it. I had the money for it. I want to buy it.
You should have joined back then and like waited
I couldn't
9
have,
months.
Yeah, and even so, like, I wasn't around back then, right?
Yeah.
But again, going into a purchase with the intent to flip is different than not wanting something in 9 months with your mind being changed. And obviously flippers can probably hide behind that argument as well, right? Like, oh, well, you know, it's just I didn't need all 19 of these sets that I purchased.
Oh, I see that. There's a guy who, there are people who are like, I'm like, 20 base kits. I'm like, I don't think this is personal for this guy.
Well, and that's something I've wanted to kind of talk about too for a little bit, is like, because I'm not really sure where I stand on it, and I think like I want to talk about this because I want to kind of flesh out like how I even stand on, like, I feel like I felt like there's a difference between
thank you, dude. Thank you,
like
Blue.
purchasing like things in like limited group buy versus things in unlimited group buy too, because when it's in like a limited group buy, or you know, even like raffles for instance, you're taking away someone's chances of getting something.
Yeah.
But then when it's in an unlimited group buy, you're not really taking away anything. You're not taking away any chances there. You're actually
it's a little less gray.
Purchasing more stock to redistribute to the. I mean that's like where I'm kind of in a weird spot of, like, do you condemn that as well, but I don't know. That like I've kind of been stuck there for a little bit myself.
I don't know. I think there'll always be a flipping market because there are people who don't like they need longer than 30 days to decide if they want to join a pre-ordered group buy time. You know, it's like, oh, I missed out, I'll just get extras, and it's like, oh, I missed extras. Now like people I think pretty much go into it expecting like, if I don't join this, I'm gonna have to pay $220 or more on Mech Market for this key set. So it's like, I think that's like a standard now. It's not like,
yeah, and if someone wants their, like, unfortunately, like, I'm gonna say this like truthfully, like, unfortunately wants their hustle to be like flipping things, then I honestly, like, I personally cannot physically stop them. The most we can do is we can talk about things like this on stream and talk about this as a community and educate all of us, including myself, including Chase, and including Reagan, on proper spending habits and like being financially, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would never want you guys to spend like $2,000 when you only have, you know, $1,500 in your bank account.
Well, like
that just seems like bad idea to me.
I mean, another reason that I bring this up is because like I've purchased a few GMK sets that have been like, I'm mildly interested in this, and I don't want it to ship and then me be like, damn, I really wish I would have bought that. So I buy it because I'm mildly interested. And I know earlier you were saying like, you know, sometimes like, you know, 9 months
change,
or you know, in our instance like 16 months down the line, your tastes change, what you want on a keyboard changes. But like when I bought that, I was thinking, you know, if I don't like it, I can just turn around and sell it. But then at the same point, I'm like, do I really want to be the guy?
No, that's okay. That's okay.
It's just like,
I blame the hobby.
Fine.
I blame the lead times. Like I don't blame if anyone joined one of our group buys for anything, like any type of product we sell, and your taste changes over the duration of the group buy, sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens. Like I wish we were Amazon Prime with everything we sold, and it was 2 days.
I agree. And like maybe if you had asked me this a year ago, I would have been like, man, no flippers. Flippers all suck. Serious Black, thank you so much for the tier 1 for 6 months. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Holy fuck, thank you, dude. My tastes and my preference and like my whole opinion on this would have been way different. But now I was like kind of like,
so you're saying your taste changed in the last 6 months?
Yeah. I guess my opinion has changed. Something's changed, right? But like as I get a little older and I think I understand this hobby more and I understand a little bit more of mindset of people who buy things, and like as a consumer and as someone who reviews things, I understand more, you know? I think the biggest thing is the one thing that I can convey that would make the most sense is just buy responsibly. And if you guys are comfortable with spending something, I literally am not your wallet. If that's something you've been waiting for,
I'm literally not your wallet.
Yeah, I'm actually physically not a wallet, and I'm not your wallet. So if that's something you guys have been waiting for and that's something, a price that you're willing to pay, then by all means buy it. The most I can do is educate you on not educate you, but like tell you guys what my sense of moral direction is. You know, I would never want someone to get scammed. I would never want to scam someone. I would never want to use any sort of hobby. And I will bring up the fact that there's people who have literally bought hordes of graphics cards just to resell to people at an up cost because that's their hustle. And like, again, I can go down a whole rabbit hole of what I honestly think about people who do that. But like, this is the most I can do is just tell you guys, like, just do what you guys think is right, and do the thing that would hurt the least amount of people. Obviously, like, you don't want to scam people, and you don't want people to go into debt because now you've bought all the stock up for something and you're trying to flip it. So I don't know. I'm not that desperate at the point where I'd flip to survive. Yeah, there is people, and I have to be understanding of that too. There is people who can't get a job, and they found this is to be their hustle, and I understand that.
I feel like
is
you
it the
have
right
to
thing
have
to
a
do?
lot
No.
of money for this to be a hustle.
Yeah,
there are
I agree
low
with
margins and long wait times to get your returns, and you have to invest a lot.
Yeah.
I did the math the other day that I think if you joined like as a consumer, if you joined like 20 key set group buys a month, not that even, let's say there are like what?
Let's take
6?
notes here. Reagan's about to explain us all how.
Maybe I shouldn't. Oh my god, this will actually not be good. If you buy 20 base kits a month, it would equate to like $45,000 of profit a year or something like crazy for like a consumer. But it's like you have to also spend $45,000 to like generate that, you know? So it's like
And
you,
that's not
you have
even
to
like
have
that's not even
and a
easy
1-to-1
thing.
return of income over that amount of time is like I feel like it's not even that crazy.
Well, and
you
I
know,
think too,
how
I
much
think
goes
people
into
would
it.
eventually look at you, you know.
No, it's
and
not
be
$0 gain. It's $45,000 spent for 90,000. I don't know. Maybe my math is wrong.
people would look at you and be like, "Why is this guy constantly selling 50 GMK sets a month as a user and not a vendor?"
Yeah.
You would definitely
Yeah.
you would definitely have like some eyes going, "Monka, dude." Another good question I saw was, "What's your view on the criticism of buyers who really want a particular keyboard or key set for feeding into flippers, buying a keyboard like the 7V, for instance, for $700 above retail?" As much as I would love to say, I wish it wasn't so, that seems to be the price they sell at. I literally cannot control it. Buy responsibly again. That's the main thing I can tell you guys to do. But if you really want a 7V, yeah. If you really want a 7V, buy yourself a 7V for $1,200. Like I can't stop you.
Yeah.
If you deem that product valuable to you, and this is what I also think with people. I think there's a question before that I saw of what do I think of people who have in-stock products and sell it at an X amount of dollars. So for example, we'll just say if a company buys 1,000 GMK sets and sets them at $200 for some like design they have, they're legally allowed to set it at $200.
There's a company that does that already.
Yeah, you can do it. You can set it at $200. Does it mean people will buy from you? Absolutely fucking not. If people deem that set at $200, then maybe they might buy it. But does that mean people will buy? No. Right?
What company does that? I think Originative Co. does that. They'll just buy out the MOQ for a key set, not advertise it at all, and then just list it as in stock.
They do some group buys. I don't exactly know.
No, yeah, I know, but I know.
Yeah.
I think they've done that before. I don't know.
What are the thoughts on ultra limited keyboards, like the all brass piggy they only made 10 of? Again, a company's allowed to do whatever they want. If they want to make a limited edition item, then by all means, go for it. Like I literally can't stop that. Yeah, I think limited edition stuff, and I've brought this up in my Pokemon card analogy. I think that if we stop treating these limited edition things, and this goes back to to argument number 1 as like these investments that we can resell and stuff. If we just start appreciating people who like get into these and want them and all that kind of stuff, I think it'll be a way more fun space.
Yes.
Rather than attaching price tags to everything. You know, we can bring that argument up later, but I think if we just start appreciating what others have, like I love going and seeing your photos in the Discord of what you guys build per week. I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite things to do in the Discord. A lot of the times when I'm bored in bed or just have some spare time, that's the first thing I want to do. Other than say good morning to you guys in Discord, I want to look through you guys' builds. It's so cool to see what you guys build.
And the emote challenge, those are hilarious.
It's so cool, you know? And seeing limited edition stuff, like I got to build someone's limited edition, it's in the box now, it's packed up, that Think 65 with the mirrored chamfers there. That was so cool to me. I know it's not mine, I can appreciate it, I get to see it. I'd love something like that, but it's cool. I appreciate it. I love seeing what you guys have. You know, it's really, really fun to me. Even that Caustic Custom one's the anodized one we did the other day. So cool.
Sick.
Yeah, so
that thing
cool.
Didn't look real. That did not look real.
It was so interesting, right? And I think that if we can appreciate what other people have instead of hyping things up, you know, like not hyping things up in a bad way, you know, like investment, money, monetary, like attaching dollar signs to things. If we can just appreciate what people have, like I think that it'll be a better space in the long run. Obviously, we can't ignore there's other things, there's other aspects to things, and I understand that. But I don't know. I just take the keyboard for a block of metal engraved with sweat and tears of designers in most cases. So I just like to appreciate it in that way. That too, you can appreciate it as art pieces. I think that's the one thing about the Piggy keyboard here, the one that I have on my desk currently. You guys can kind of see behind everything. For me, I've been appreciating this all day as a piece of art. You know.
Yeah, it's a nice board.
It's a nice board,
like it.
Right? But I think that goes with anything in life, right?
I have a question in here.
Yeah.
Here's some people. Did anyone get a Stellar 65?
Oh yes, this is a cool side note. Less abrasive, I guess, of questions. Does anyone like the Stellar? Thick bacon board? It was awesome. Oh yeah, how was the Piggy? I loved it, Punker. Did anyone get a Stellar? Well, and Thomas, that's why we're having these conversations, right? We're having these conversations because I don't want to see it become like a StockX exchange of keyboards. That's gonna be boring as hell to me, right? I want to have these conversations because I want to make sure that anyone who enjoys my content understands how I feel about things. You guys are totally in the right to feel however the fuck you guys want to feel. I love you guys still, but these are my thoughts and opinions.
Okay. It looks like a decent amount of people joined some of the Stellars. So here is the standard
Oh yes, take a look at this,
frosted
guys.
white
Yeah.
Stellar 65.
Uh-huh.
And here is something we are working on.
Ooh. So is that frosted, Reckon?
This is custom. This has been ordered for so long. This is custom acrylic. This does not exist in the world. I ordered the color. I couldn't do any sampling. I was really scared. And now we have, literally, I had two like 6 foot long. No, they were like 8 or 9 foot long pallets of this delivered. A little bit late. It's taken a while, but
Hold on, Reagan. Mr. Yeah, Reagan does not let me keep him normal, so I have to flip him. So yes, it is mirrored. His camera is mirrored.
yeah, it's mirrored. It's
Yeah.
mirrored.
Reagan, that's a dark gray, correct? It's not black. I mean, it looks
So it's a
almost black.
super dark gray. It's like a really pretty color. But yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
imagining
Interesting.
GMK dark on that thing. That would
Yeah.
be the stealthiest looking. Ooh.
That's acrylic's another really interesting material too, because like I've built a crap ton of acrylic boards, and I've yet to find one acrylic board that doesn't sound fun. I guess, right? This is why
Yeah.
you've waited. Hell yeah, dudes! I had my first build together on stream, I had my first build together on stream because I jumped into the hobby fast without starting small and testing. Is there anything misguiding about being too scared to put together an expensive board yourself? No, dude, I think we need to like listen. While I do say soldering is easy, and I think if anyone wants to solder, don't be afraid to. But if you still are afraid, I'm not here to like judge you for your fears. No one is. If you don't want to put it together, then don't put it together. If you feel more at ease putting that responsibility onto someone else, dude, by all means. You know, and I will say that soldering is really fun and really easy. But again, no one's gonna shame you if you don't want to do it. Let me tell you guys that right now. No one's gonna shame. And if someone does shame you, they can go fuck themselves. That's it. You know, because I do get those people who are like, "Mrr, you're in this community for building things and you don't want to build it yourself." Mrr. Who cares, dude? You can still enjoy something and not build it. I'm pretty sure that everyone who enjoys like luxury cars doesn't build the luxury car themselves.
Would you consider releasing the files for the top plate if someone wanted to make a custom top? So I've already been told I'm not allowed to, and that will probably never be a thing. Unfortunately.
There it is. Reagan said it. Fisher says, I do think we should encourage people to learn to solder. I do encourage people for sure, but if people don't want to, and like people really are adamant about not wanting to, then no one should judge them. Like, no one should judge them for that. I will still enjoy Hotswap boards and buy most Rama boards. Hotswap IMO. Yeah, Hotswap's awesome. I fucking love Hotswap. Absolutely love it. You know why I love Hotswap? For 2 reasons. A, desoldering, even though it's really easy with a desoldering gun, it's still kind of annoying. And B, I just like the fact that I can just pop out. I don't have to disassemble shit. It's awesome. Quick streams? What do you mean? Didn't you say you're not a man until you learn to solder? I don't think I did say that, dude. I don't recall.
That's not a thing. Soldering. I'm just saying, look, I don't own a Hotswap board. I don't. But there's nothing wrong with Hotswap. And you are not special because you soldered a board versus Hotswapped a board. Like,
I was going to say, I hope that does not sound like something Alex would say.
No, it was definitely not something I would
there's
say.
nothing cool about solder versus Hotswap.
Yeah, that's the classic Alex toxic masculinity, dude.
If we live in a world where soldering is the gauge of being a man or not.
No, wait, stepped caps locks only works for solder boards? That's not true. But the reason why you probably don't see stepped caps on Hotswap is because Hotswap are typically fixed layouts because of their lack of compatibility in the US market. Standard caps is much more popular than stepped caps.
But we did see the Icky with
Is it
the
Hotswap
two-
for both?
Yeah, I think it is. I think the Icky, if I do recall, right, chat, the Icky is both, right?
That's cool. Yeah. So it's not to say that the design is impossible. I'm just saying that when you're designing a Hotswap PCB, it's probably not a request that's frequently made to the PCB designer. But obviously, some people that are curious and designing for that can accommodate both of them.
Yeah. The way they have to do it is one of them has to be north facing and one of them has to be south facing, right beside each other.
Yeah.
That way the sockets can fit. I think the Hotswap version of the Mode 80 also features that.
Yeah, Wilbur was telling me the other day how you can accommodate certain things like per switch RGB with non-fixed layouts, but it would be a little bit tricky with making the Hotswap sockets like fit each other. He had a very intelligent, big brain conversation. I just can't recite it perfectly, but it made sense at the time.
Agile Cables has a question for you. Question for Reagan. What are some tips you would give the new vendors entering this hobby, especially on how to build connections?
How to build connections? Agile Cables. Dude, don't screw anyone over. Make amazing products. Be transparent. And make friends with everybody. That's it.
Yeah, and I think another thing that I can definitely suggest too, for any job in your entire life is prove to people that you're valuable. Like, I know this is like as a business. Don't just come in as a business and be like, here's what we got going on. We're going to be the best and not have anything to back that up.
Yeah.
Prove that, like, especially as the market gets more saturated, because I will admit there is a lot of new vendors popping up.
That's fine.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I
prove
honestly,
to us,
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even think, like, you don't need to go into it needing to prove. Just grind and you will
that's the better
yourself,
word. That's
basically.
That's
like,
the better word. Sorry, grind and show people that what you can do is valuable. Like, show everyone else, you know?
If you're trying to make it more than a hobby, like, because all I did was start out doing this as a hobby. Like, I was making cables literally in my room, and when I started getting feedback from people that were like, refreshing their tracking, waiting for our products to get there, I was like, oh man, this is really cool. It made me want to do it more and, like, talk to the right people and stuff like that. So just keep working at it, chisel it away every day. That is it.
See, Dutch, I do agree with you, Dutch, that you should prove it to anyone besides yourself. Like, I agree with that on a personal level, but in a business level, you definitely want to prove to your customers that you're reliable. I think it's a little different from being a business and being a God, dude, I'm sorry, there's so many fireworks happening it's 9 o'clock. Anyways, I apologize for the fireworks, guys. Question for Alex. I'm well aware of your opinions on vendors that steal keycap designs. What are your thoughts on artisan keycaps that lifts existed designs, lips of brands, notable things like Pokemon keycaps? Interesting conversation. It's been brought up before. There's so many, like, weird gray areas, and, like, I'm even starting to really, like, I guess, back away from this kind of stuff as well. But fan art, stuff that isn't like a one-for-one copy of things, is a huge market. And I truth be told, like, it's such a gray area, and I don't know all the stuff that goes on in fan art and, like, laws that go on with fan art. So fan art's always been a gray area. For me, while I love officially licensed stuff, like, I love those Star Wars things that, Mike from Novel Keys got hooked up with. Those Star Wars keycaps, those are great. I know S-Craft was supposed to be. I actually don't know if they are anymore. I think they maybe broke that contract with Nintendo. It was supposed, or the Pokemon company in this case, supposed to have licensed Pokemon caps. However, is that possible for everything? With fan art, it's so, like, it's derivative of something.
Oh, thank you, dude.
Right? So it's always a little complex with fan art stuff. If it's a one-for-one copy, for example, and thank you, Agile Cables, for the tier 1. For example, let's just make up something here. Let's just say that I go ahead. I know I purchased this knife from Carved, right? If I go ahead and make a one-for-one copy with the exact same resin swirls and everything and sell this as my brand now, is that okay? I think that, me personally, and this could be completely wrong, and if you guys disagree with it, you guys are free to, that's another level of stealing something's actual, like, design. Do a knife trick? Oh, I'm not doing that. No way. But fan art, and again, the gray area of what classifies fan art, weird. So I don't have a good answer for that, unfortunately. But 1-for-1 copies and then just labeling it takes away from something else. Hey, Kirst, why does Chase have a rest? Dude, Chase is just serious, okay, Kirst? He's always serious. There, he's smiling now. Thank you, Kirst, for your tier 1, man. So for me, again, like a 1-for-1 thing, you're taking away from that person's like hard work on making that particular product. Well, in fan art, in my opinion, still, I'm not against this. I still think fan art is still like, yes, you are showing what you can do and your talents, but if you're making like a tons of money off of it, you're still relying on. I am gonna drink. 1 second, Chozo. You're still relying on like that company to do like the marketing for you. There is some definite like risks of doing fan art. Trust me, there's very, very much a lot of risk to doing fan art. So.
Yeah, I would just say get the right permissions. Like
yeah,
I've never run anything that is inspired by or fan art without permission. I've never sold an item without getting permission. Like even with the Gooey Boy keyboard,
yeah.
like that. For one, like we've never sold that before.
That was just for fun.
Yeah, I would. Okay, so that's a question. What about the Mix 65?
Which one's that one again?
I showed you that board. That's the McDonald's board.
Oh, I'm not me personally, I'm not a fan of that one. And again, that's still like, I think that would be classified as a gray area of fan art.
But that's like, if you, okay, my opinion on the Mix 65 is it wouldn't be like a Pokemon board because it's like Pokemon's brand is like sought after and has a humongous fan base. Whereas like, I would equate the Mix 65 to like a Walmart 65. Like it's not this like brand that you're buying it for the brand. The Mix 65 is like you're buying it for a meme.
Yeah, satire almost.
Yeah, and it's not like selling for the money or selling for the numbers or anything. It's a super small, closed friends and family group buy.
It's like a gag product, but at the same time, like if McDonald's decided to throw their lawyers at you, or at
Alex,
the people who made
they
that.
could try.
Sid says Alex can't try the keyboard until he has a McDonald's burger. I will never in my life have a McDonald's burger. Okay.
Okay, well you can try my Mix 65, okay, buddy? Because I got one.
Yoni wants a compliment. Hold on. Yoni, what's going on, dude? Yoni, listen to me, all right? First of all, Yoni, if you were a wolf, you'd be the alpha wolf, in my opinion. All right, you'd be the leader of my pack. I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for being here.
Yoni, he's got that GMK Pacific coming out. We've got some cool collabs that is set for July. So we're all happy about GMK Pacific. It's very nice
There
set.
it is. Alex, are you just that much of a Burger King simp or what? I like Burger King. Burger King reminds me of my child. Listen, guys, we're not talking about food tonight, all right? It's going to go down a deep, dark... If you guys thought talking about flipping and stuff was bad, if we start talking about burgers and what's everyone's favorite burger, we're going to go down a deep, dark rabbit hole that nobody wants to be here, okay?
We do this every week. We might as well go there.
Listen, okay, I'm just saying...
Oh, wait.
Go on, sorry.
Ben says, I love meme boards. I don't know how to say that. Is it Beepo Van? I think it's
Beppo Van? Beepo Van,
Beppo Van? I have 7 of those right now.
The Beepos?
I do. I have 7.
Oh, those are so interesting looking.
They haven't shipped for Group Buy yet, but I'm Cerakoting like a ton of them. And so they're all sitting on a shelf.
Voter asked what IMs I'm using. Tonight I'm using Campfire Andromedas as I wait for my other cable to ship out. Alex, you can check your DMs once you get the chance. I have to do so much catching up. And Agile, I know you sent me a message too. I just have not caught up in DMs at all, dude. I am literally so far behind. It has been, dude, let me tell you guys, I'm trying my best to better balance and make it more healthy so I have more energy and more happiness to come onto stream rather than stress myself out with working 24/7. So I take like designated times to email people back just because it's not my full-time job. So
I know, dude. I took Saturday off from emails. so many emails. I responded to them, or rather, like, too many emails. Don't take a day off.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's too hard. I apologize for this avalanche of fast food comments. No worries, my dude. Listen, also, my opinions on cold pizza are my own opinions. All right.
Wait, you don't like cold pizza, right?
If I have the opportunity to warm up my cold pizza, it's getting warmed the fuck up, dude. If someone said, Alex, hey, I have a microwave and toaster oven in my house. Do you want cold pizza? I'd be like, Are you insane? I'm gonna go warm my pizza up.
Sometimes it's just convenience though. Like sometimes cold pizza with like some ranch, that's the move. But sometimes I'll heat it up. And I don't know if you've tried this, but air frying pizza is actually really good.
I don't actually have an air fryer, so I don't know what that
so
tastes like.
don't associate air frying with frying, because all it is basically is a convection oven. Like all it does is just think of like
Get
a
something
toaster
really
oven.
hot.
That's what an air fryer does. Yeah, it's just it has a fan and it's very hot, so it just makes sure every inch of like the heating element, inside the unit is the same temperature. So you get like a thorough crisp from like all directions.
Also a small space, so it gets there a lot faster.
Yeah,
Also,
so you can like super cook with it. Anyways, air fried pizza.
Also, that's fireworks in the background, guys. It's Victoria Day or something. Ignore it, please. Cold pizza equals best hangover food. I think for me, eggs and bacon is the best for that. Dude, heat your pizza up in a cast iron pan. All right.
You don't drink. What do you mean?
Dude, back in the day, if I had ever have like a little bit of alcohol, that'd be my go-to.
Christ.
I don't drink anymore though, guys. Thoughts on dipping
Wait,
pizza,
really?
crust, and ranch?
Yes. Yes.
I'm a
What else
boring
would you
ass
dip it
eater,
in?
so I don't actually dip my pizza into anything. I just eat it. Okay.
Pizza and ranch is elite.
Pizza.
Reagan, did I hear you question the one who was saying somebody said like in a cast iron pan or something like that? Is that what you were kind of confused of?
No, I didn't read that.
Oh, okay. Alex read it out loud, and I thought you had a reaction to it. I
I
did see a
never read it.
video. I did see a video online of somebody taking like cold pizza and putting it on the stove in a pan and putting the lid over on top of it, and then that made like the cheese melt down again and
But that
everything like
creates
that.
steam and like moisture when you do that.
Yeah, well, pizza gets pretty dry when you reheat it, especially in an air fryer.
It
Pizza
gets crispy. It depends on the pizza, how much
It's pretty
moisture is
dry.
in it. But in my experience, home slice pizza here in Austin, when you reheat that crap in the air fryer, sheesh.
What do you mean Chase likes wet pizza? Part of pizza is sauce.
What
Sauce
would
isn't
you
dry.
like? Hey,
You like
first
that
of all,
moist
no, I
pizza,
know what
bro.
they mean, dude. If the crust gets soggy, bro, that's a bad
There's a
pizza.
difference between soggy and like moisture into pizza.
No,
Bread has
dude,
to have
I knew
bread
exactly
itself has
what
to
that
have
meant. dude.
moisture to it, or else it's just it's
Well,
not right.
Well,
So it doesn't.
It ain't
Let's
right
go back
that
to
way.
keyboards for 1 second. Hold on. Someone said,
Boiled
is it possible
pizza,
to fix
though.
a ding in a keyboard?
No.
You mean like a dent? Is that what you mean?
Ramen and super glue.
Stop.
No, don't do that.
Stop.
No, if there's a dent in the metal and you can't like sand it out, then you really can't.
I don't
fix
know.
it.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think you can fix that.
We know this because we just dropped a keyboard this week and we had
What'd
to
you
get a
drop?
replacement. We dropped an Equinox, and luckily Salvin had one, so he shipped us an Equinox. Yeah,
Sucker.
yeah.
Did-
Don't
so
ship
I
us your
guess-
board to Cerakote. We'll drop them.
Yeah. Fuck. I shipped him one, guys.
He shipped me a key cult, stupid.
Stupid.
Fuck, dude. That was the most bonehead move of my entire life, guys. Dent
I
the
have,
opposite
like,
side. That
3
way, there you have a
keyboards
one
right
of one limited edition. There you go, dude. Honestly, I've scratched personal keyboards and like I've done some like unfortunate things to them. It used to bother the shit out of me, and now I'm just kind of like, oh, it adds character. Like what am I gonna live my life being upset with that? It sucks in the moment, and there was a point in time where I'd be like, fuck, dude, this really fucking no, dude, you can't do anything. Like, what am I gonna cry over it? Like, you can get upset. No one's saying you can't, but I'm not gonna live my life like pissed off because of it. A keyboard is meant to be touched. Don't be scared. Exactly. Yeah, Alex sent key cult. Alex sent key cult too. It's true, dude. It's true. Cursed. I still need to build your board there, buddy. I need to build that soon for you. For rims, if there's a lip damage, they can add more metal and sand. I don't know.
Yeah, but that would like in the keyboard world that would be stock. You can't just like add.
I don't know. I
You
don't
know, like
exactly know.
on a car wheel, like it's not as noticeable. I don't even know if that's a thing, but you definitely can't do that.
I try to just like when
Keyboards.
I'm handling keyboards, like even now, like every keyboard I try my best to handle with utmost care, right? Back to the ramen thing, it always works. There you go. You only said it.
There, just
but
send
I
it to
try-
one of those TikTokers then.
There it is. The last thing I kind of wanted to bring up today too, to kind of touch upon one of the biggest topics I think we've been talking about as a community for, I'd say, the last like 2 or 3 months. It's been brought up everywhere. Is, you know, we touched upon it before, is, you know, the keycaps being cloned. I know we've beaten this like a dead horse at this point here. All right. At the end of the day, my favorite topic. Yeah, it's everyone's favorite topic. At the end of the day, I do feel that if we're going to be doing things like if people do that, it's a lot of harm that goes towards designers. Because at the end of the day, it's more than just a cheap keycap set. And I brought it up before, like if this company has this technology or this like ability to make $45 keycap sets, why are they not doing everything in their power to reach out to designers? Yeah, to make their designs, you know. And if they don't want to reach out to a designer, then make in-house designs. Why is it suddenly like, I know everyone goes like they're just colors and stuff, but they're playing on colors and names and hype that already have been
just
advertised.
Just because you don't legally own colors. Yeah. The dumbest argument ever is you can't own a color. Like, absolutely. That goes without saying. Everyone knows you cannot own a color. Mm-hmm. But this person was the person to bring that color in a particular order into this community, sell it with their brand, build up hype, and then those who missed it are, like, supporting these resellers and the people that sell, like, the fake stuff. It's not good. I know no one owns colors, but don't take other people's colors.
Yeah, and it's the big thing too is, like, again, the reason why they're not reaching out to people for designs and stuff, because that's money they have to pay, and it's just easier to be like, well, I'll use, I don't know what keycaps I can use. Let's just say we'll just use Olivia. Well, like, it's easier to rip off Olivia because Olivia has hype behind it, and I don't have to pay for, now here's how they can get it so cheap. Ready for this? You don't have to pay for marketing, you don't have to pay for design. All you're really doing is taking a keycap set that already exists and doing all that. So there you go. You've just saved on 2 things. All right. And I don't know the quality in any of those clones either, but there you go. You've already saved on 2 big things. You don't have to pay for the marketing to ensure your keycaps sell and everything else.
Let's say this. Let's say you do get a trademark on a color. Let's say that Olivia example, since that's such a highly copied set, is fully trademarked. That's a raw color. So on a raw, I don't have my raw or Pantone books here, but on one single page, you know, like let's say the Olivia color's in the middle and it's like a particular shade of pink orange. Even if you trademark it, a designer who's trying to rip it off could just take the color right below that, like, to the eye doesn't even look different. So it's like trademarking colors and the designers protecting their rights, like, doesn't even do that much when there's like 60 other colors that could be like
plus a lot of it's overseas stuff too.
Yeah, and then you can't even get these people like in trouble overseas that are doing stuff like that.
So Har's asking why are round 2 and round 3 still expensive? Because you still have to, like, there's still a cost that goes towards designers and stuff, right? The marketing is not, it's not like a fixed price that someone's paying. The marketing is someone's time at this point.
There is also a fixed cost for GMK sets, which are more than $45.
Yeah, and
they are more.
And when I tell you guys, like, the money that involved in marketing, it's not like, I don't know, the designer of a new keycap set's going out and spending $3,000 or $4,000. They're doing all that work. The labor is on them. They have their own associated labor cost. In the long run, and I will say this is my long term, like, when you go long in a football game, I don't know football. What do you call that? Is that like the
overtime?
Sure. The overtime of this, the long argument is, if there is the Hail Mary, if there is no incentive for designers to be making sets, because I'm already seeing sets that are in IC. Okay, I think ACO or HK
That's why
is
people
making.
don't share colors, because they don't, like, then the people who are ripping it off can make exact one-to-one design.
I literally saw Dreamscape, which I think it was Dreamscape or one of the new ICs for one of those gradient sets. It's literally in IC. I don't even know if that thing's released yet. It's already being fucking designed and ripped off there.
Yeah, we had our Wasabi and GMK Fundamentals. There's already people in the United States with that fake set on their keyboards. And it's
so
like,
what is the incentive to design these things and try to sell it and be a designer and participate in the community if someone's just going to steal your work? And months ago, the argument was, well, it doesn't hurt sales. Well, now it's hurting sales.
It is. It does for the round 2.
Yeah. Well, even for the round 1 now. Because they're doing it before, they're releasing and producing these things before round 1.
Actually really does.
So now it is. And the long term is, what's the point of me now designing something and putting it out there and asking if people want to do things, and if people like this, and, you know, getting feedback and working really hard and putting in my labor on something what's the purpose of it? And how does that foster creativity? It doesn't. It deters from it. It really doesn't. Because if I know for a fact that I'm putting all this fucking hard work in today, just for literally me to post on Keycap or me to post somewhere, just to get feedback to see if this is even a viable design or just to share what I want to do, and now someone's now like taking my work, what purpose, me as a designer, let's just say, why do I want to do it? Right? And that's the thing, Charlie, and this is what I mentioned earlier. And the fact that we have to discuss clones and stuff like that, it only benefits them. But baby, that's free fucking marketing for them. This is exactly what they want. They want to stir up the controversy.
Yeah.
They want us to talk about shit like this. And it's just like, it's not that I want to, it's this kind of stuff gets brought up so often. And I've seen people like be like, well, like HK and Akko was like, you know, like, fuck it, dude, I'm not paying for fucking designs. Just like, again, it's like, it's ignorance at that point there.
Yeah,
it
even
really
though
is.
we're a keyboard hobby, we're still obviously politically divided by opinion of this. In the same way standard politics happens, and there's various parties with different opinions. I don't know. That's, I guess, we try to share our opinions on our platform, and no one is obligated to follow them.
Exactly.
But these are our opinions.
Yeah. You know, and for me, guys, like, and someone asked what if new YouTube creators get approached with them. Listen, I can't fault anyone who doesn't know anything about this at all. But if people publicly say this in their videos, which I've seen, that, hey, I know this is ripping off a designer, I don't care because it's cheaper, bro, like, I got nothing to say. Like, what? I am literally speechless at this point here. Because this argument can apply to anything you do in life. If someone takes what you do, rips it off, and now it's hard for you to make ends meet. Let's just say this is the argument. Like, wouldn't that suck? Would you want that? And the best thing, Ozzy said it before, is do unto others as you'd want to be done to yourself. Like, that's it. That's the core to this argument. Right? That's it. That's the core to this. And again, you can follow, like, these are my morals, like my moral compass. This is Chase, this is Space. We all have different moral compasses. But that's it. That's the end of the argument for me. Like, there's nothing else really to talk about other than I will never support those people. Right? Just like I'll never support someone who flips graphics cards. Or
yeah, we're friends with too many of the designers to support these people. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, and I think too, like what Jess Barry said too, is there's tons of fun alternatives. EPBT has tons you can buy off KBD fans. You know, there's new things popping up all the time.
Yeah, and
especially
there are
for in
colorways that are not owned, like the 9009 colorway. That's universal. That's like on vintage keyboards, or like white on black, black on white, beige sets, like stuff like that isn't owned, but like 8008, like that's a very particular combination of colors. Nautilus, Olivia, like you can tell when they're ripping off the sets, you know.
Yeah, and Way Too Lucky makes a good point. Just to be clear, the problem here is ripping off designs. Yeah, I don't care what people are selling their products at. Again, like what I mentioned earlier applies to this too. You're a business, you're able to sell anything you want at any price you want. Doesn't mean I have to buy from you. All right, but the problem is it's companies that take these designs. And, you know, and someone said this before, and I didn't bring this up because I didn't want to, but I'll bring it up now. HK, for example, will go and publicly bash people and be like, well, you guys are dumb. I'm going to fucking rip off your designs. You know, it's like, I get it. It's so tempting for me to spend $45 on a design that's ripped off just because it's like $45. But at the same time, it's like, do I want to give into that system? And now this becomes like, let's just say outside of legal, now becomes like this moral dilemma for me as a human being, is do I want to give into that system? You know, this is why to this day I've never bought like a pair of fake Yeezys, do I want to, even though I understand
Alex
like, it's
only
a
owns
different thing,
real Yeezys.
I don't know any Yeezys, but do I want to give into that system? Right? Here's a question. Why is the treatment never applied to Duroc JWK? What do you mean? For like stabilizers?
I think the CEO of switches means switches.
You mean like the colorways of switches? I'm confused, Thurman. Stelios?
Stelios.
So Stelios, I wasn't around for that, but okay, so I think with the Stelio stuff, that was just a clone of a Switch, right?
Didn't they get their bashing by like everyone at the time?
Yeah,
That was pre me and Alex. And
Yeah, I
Chase,
wasn't around
so
for that.
I don't know. I thought that they got ripped on for sure, and they got, you know.
Yeah, and I think another thing with like Switches too, like, and I think we saw even Glorious get pooped on for that too.
Yeah.
Well, that was approached horribly.
Yeah, it was approached terribly, like
that you didn't create.
Yeah, it was again feeding off of someone else's branding, which again is bad. Again, the intent of what they wanted to do was cleared up and was talked about. But I think in like if we're talking also, I mean, let's talk about switches. I guess like switches doing different colors, and I mean I think that's totally different. But if someone goes ahead and like copies a switch one for one and rides it off of something, but yeah, it's the same argument as this. I don't think that happens all too often in switches though.
I don't know. Yeah, because there's only a couple ways to get switches. It's like depends how much funds you have to throw at it. It's like if you can't get a custom mold and the only thing you're changing is colorway, which is already like,
yeah,
okay, you have your own colorway of like an H1 or a T1 or whatever. But
yeah,
it's like once you get a custom mold, that's okay.
Well, yeah, and I think even, sorry to cut you off, Chase, to go back to the Glorious switches too, it's like there was things different between the Glorious Holy Pandas, we'll call them that, and the regular Holy Pandas. They kind of were just feeding off the fucking name. And that's why I constantly say, can we just stop calling things pandas? Like, I'm so confused what the hell pandas even are anymore. So
they're associated with heavy tactiles now.
I don't know what the hell they are.
Way Too Lucky. Way Too Lucky says, why do designers only partner with GMK? Why not make your sets on cheaper keycaps as well? Why not partner with the company to produce a cheaper set? GMK sets feel a bit gatekeeping, to be honest.
No, people do other ones.
People do other ones. There's a vast amount of other vendors out there that do sets. However, GMK's name is associated with such a long history of quality, deliverability. Like, it's granted it's very long, but like the name alone, you can, like, it sells the set. People associate it with quality. You know, the legends, the plastic, the ability to color match. You've seen other companies that have issues with color matching, and it's like that's generally not the case with GMK. They have brand. That's the main reason, is they have brand established. They have the roots. They have the deepest roots of keycap manufacturers in this community. So,
and when you typically get a GMK, like for me, like every GMK I said I've gotten, I haven't been disappointed with in terms of quality, not color. Let's just put colors aside, design aside, like the quality's been there. You know, with every Enjoy PBT set I've gotten, even though I love Enjoy PBT, every spacebar almost has had a problem with it. It's annoying. It's not the end of the world, but every time Alex giggles, I'm wondering which comment. I was laughing at Wilba's comment. Wilba said if it has panda in the name, it means it's not linear, so hard pass.
Wait, that's not true.
I just honestly, like, with the exception of the original Holy Panda, that I guess, you know, I don't know. I haven't really cared too much about pandas myself. So wouldn't the Legacy just sell the set? Sorry. So wouldn't that Legacy sell the set then, and worry less about these ripoffs? The problem isn't with us in this chat. Like, the majority of people in this chat can understand. I think it's the people who are tempted to say fuck it, dude, and that's how these businesses stay afloat, right? We've slid so far in this hobby. Shake my head. There it is. So many other pandas. Right. So, and Way Too Lucky. We're talking like even in the cheapest set too right now. Let's just say it's from EPBT. I think you can buy one for $90. Right. And usually those are like a grayish set, a beige, you know, black, white. But when we're talking like, oh, you get like Nautilus, for example, at $45 USD and it's next day shipping on Amazon, it suddenly becomes a different ballgame. That's a totally different like price point, you know. But again, regardless of the price, the set price aside, like we said earlier, and in terms of design, still for me morally not right. What about if these companies start selling copy keyboards to Salvation for 100? It'd be the same argument, right? Same argument. If someone does something one for one in any sort of context, it's not right. Cloners and designers want money, and the cloners don't want to give cuts. That's exactly where it is. Like, again, they get to skip the whole marketing, and because again, I'm fucking marketing for them right now. Same with you guys by talking about them. Like, we're doing that, and they
can also produce for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, because they don't. First of all, too, we don't know anything about how they're producing things. Right? Yep. We don't know if it's within laws. We don't know if what they're doing is okay. Second of all, we're doing all the marketing for them. Third of all, they get to skip the cut with the designer. So there's a lot of things they get to skip. Cloners and designers want money. Yeah, I've read
morals.
Already. Morals too. Yeah, they can skip those.
They do get to skip the morals.
The hobby is too expensive for some people, so if you're new and you don't know any better, it's tough. Well, and I think that's, again, it's okay for everything to be like. There's tons of cool budget things, really great, and there's even really cheap keycap sets you can pick up too. Right, like for $10 more, you can pick up a black on white set from Kinetic Labs, right? You can even pick up cheaper sets from tons of other people. I know even Glorious has sets right now that they're selling. They're gradient sets, and they're dirt cheap as well.
To me, if I had like 20 grand, I wouldn't buy like a fake Lamborghini. I'd buy like a 2017 Toyota Camry. You know, like just
there's Tahoe. That's right. There's tons of options. The problem is people want, and I think what happens, and maybe we can put this into words, is some people are looking for justification to pick up something that they really want at a dirt cheap price, because there's lots of other options. It's not like the options don't exist. It's the justification to do something that's what they want, right? So that's kind of where it's become. I totally agree with ripping off designers is wrong, but talking about it will never make it stop. I got into this hobby, and I think for me, though, way too lucky, the talking about it and us having conversations is the only thing I can't go to their business.
We're
and
educational. The only thing we can do is educate people.
Yeah.
And that's not controlling people. That's just sharing our opinions and then letting you do
you make
what
the
you will with the information you're like. You may have your opinion changed.
Who knows? But do you guys have any other questions that we can talk? We have 6 minutes until our hour and a half mark. I'm out of hydration, so please stop hydrating me. Please, I beg you. Again, no answer about buying a knockoff if you missed the group buy, but no round 2 has been set. What happened, Bitter Seeds? If you want the colorway, it's due without or pay with market pricing. Well, I'm confused by that, Bitter Seeds. No answer about buying a knockoff if you missed the group buy, but no round 2 has been set. Oh, you mean like if there's no round 2 set? I understand what people are saying about that.
Like, I missed my opportunity. I'm never going to be able to buy it again. But that's kind of the name of the game, though. Like,
that's what makes it cool. Find it on Mech Market. Find it on Mech Market, or put advertisements out that you're buying it once a week. Put in the work. Just don't buy a clone.
Yeah, I mean, and we've
accept you can't buy it.
Because I think, in my opinion, better. The moment we step that line and go, well, this is okay, this isn't okay, it's disaster. If you start setting new lines for what isn't and what it's either we're all in or we're all out. Here's the best analogy I've ever used in my entire life. Ready? Whenever I need a yes or no from someone, you can't be a little bit pregnant. It's either you're pregnant or
there's
you're not.
There's no such thing as half pregnant.
There's no such thing as in between, dude. You can't be like, feeling like there's no such thing. Either you're on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence. You can't be in between. There it is. So the real hobby is making friends. I love that, Theremin. Thank you, dude.
Yes, that's why Theremin is our friend.
Well, and way too lucky, you said. I appreciate the discussion. I just think that the people who are generally educating already know the difference and will purchase accordingly. The market will always decide. And I agree. I just think that, for instance, like, I have friends who will send me pictures of keycap sets before they buy things, and I've had friends send me fake keycap sets before, and that's an opportunity for me to, like, You know,
Educate them.
Let them know how I feel about fake sets, and then they don't purchase because of that. Like, I just think this is a wider space for us to have that, you know, conversation, and maybe let some of people understand why there is, you know, why people are kind of outraged at what HK Gaming's doing.
There's no problem with it. It'll happen.
It's just helping people understand. Like, that's really what it comes down to, is giving people a perspective different from, you know, what they already have.
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, there's 280 people watching. You know, I don't think there's 280 people chatting at the moment. There's probably people listening, and maybe they're in that mindset of, I'm listening because I want to learn too. Wait, I don't know. I can't make that assumption, right?
Yep.
So
we can hope. But
can I get 280 yups right now?
Yeah, like, it's okay, because look, when I was new to the hobby, when I'm sub 90 days old,
there you go.
Yep. When I was super new to this hobby, like, if you don't immediately click with friends who know a lot more than you do, like, you're going to be like, wow, this keycap set looks great, and I have no information around it, and I'm gonna buy it, and you don't know. So
well, I think part of it is like, once you understand that the people designing a lot of these sets are just individuals who, you know, they put a lot of work into these sets to get them to where they are. I mean, like, when you first come into the hobby, it definitely feels like some of these I don't know, like, you feel like it's the big companies who, like, these big companies that you know nothing about, they seem untouchable, and they're the ones putting out these designs. And people don't normally feel bad screwing over a company. But then when you tell people that it's these individuals that, you know, like, this is their, like, this is their piece of art that they've put a lot into this, and, like, this is their thing that they're known for. That's their namesake in a way. Like, I mean, for instance, like, Olivia, like, it's literally her name. But, like, she talked about, when we had her on, she was going on about, you know, how she's seen lots of fakes and how that's pretty discouraging to her. And she understands why people buy them too, because, you know, it's hard to get your hands on the set. Well, and she's even said she's trying to figure out more affordable ways to get that set out to people. Yeah. It's just where we are right now in the hobby, that isn't always an option, but people are trying. Just, like, gotta wait.
Guys, and I want to also understand too, it's people are very aware of everyone has different financial situations, and that's why I'm always even telling you guys, if you don't need it, don't buy it. Like, I'm very aware everyone has different income levels. I'm very aware that everyone has different states of what they're doing in their life right now and what they can and can't afford, and that's why I push so heavy on financial responsibility for yourselves, and kind of like self teaching yourself, like, some simple rules for that too, right? And I do think that a lot of people know that, especially vendors, they know that everyone has different financial situations. You know, I know it's everyone's goal to sell, and obviously to make money. That's what you do as a business, and provide, you know, your community with things. But there is tons of other options coming out, and there's tons of things that people are trying to do, but doing it right? So, and thoughts on elitist gatekeeping newcomers to the hobby? Is criticizing people for posting their tofus, etc. I've talked a lot about that, Thomas. You should, and I said this the other day. I think even Frank was talking about this on his stream too. Frank pulled up my tweet. I still feel the same way about it. For a community based off personal preference, we sure like to judge other people on what their personal preference is. Just stop. That's it. I don't think anyone should judge anyone for what they like. If you're not hurting anyone. Right.
I think if that's what you're seeing, if that's the kind of reactions you're seeing from people, you're probably looking at I don't want to say the wrong group of people, but
no, you're looking at the wrong place. If you're getting flamed by people on Reddit or TikTok, then stop going on Reddit or TikTok. I've never even been on Reddit except for making, like, sales posts.
If you're looking for, like, you specifically, or if this is just something you're bringing up because it's something you've seen and you want to talk about it, I think for those people who feel like they're being put down just for what, you know, they have, what they're able to afford, what they're able to do, I think this is a good opportunity to plug, like, Alex's Discord or even Reagan's Discord. I think both of them do a really good job of maintaining their communities, just from a standpoint of making sure that people don't infiltrate and tear up what they've built. And so I think
I've banned 3 people ever from my Discord, probably. Like,
it's just when you have a bunch of good people enjoying themselves in a space, they're just going to invite more good people in that also are enjoying themselves. And I think when the problem with Reddit is I do think that there truly are elitists within the community, and I do think that they live on places like Reddit and Geekhack, and
they cultivate in places that allow them to.
It's like a rock. It's
Yeah.
just like a dirt.
They're very vocal there too.
It's just a rock. Okay.
So, and that's why, like, when we're talking about, and this has been brought up, like toxic positivity or like too much. I don't think there's such a thing as just wanting positivity. I do think that if you're being ignorant towards things that are obviously negative, which we have tons of discussions about negative stuff here, we're definitely not in that category. But I do think that having a welcoming space where stuff that's, subjective or subjective, and that's recognized, like subjectively you're allowed to like things, objectively there's certain things that are obviously better than other things, and if you can recognize and point those things out and not be dickheads about it, then that's a place I want to be in, and that's kind of what we've talked about since day one. My day one, I'll say this since every single time they can be brought up. Raid. Reagan and I, when we had our first initial discussion about what we wanted, I said I wanted a space where we can have fun as a community and respect our fellow peers and stuff, and that's still my goal, is to just have fun with people building keyboards and do it in our Discord and on Twitch. So that's still my goal, and I'm still working towards it because I don't think that's ever a goal that's ever going to go away. And to kind of go back one point too, what Chase was saying about the cloning and stuff like that too, like one thing that educating you guys too is this isn't a big company producing. These are our fellow community members. Olivia is a community member. Zambumon's a community member. Zambumon's not like, he's not like there's no Zambumon Incorporated business that's living in New York with 3,000 people under it. It's just Zambu. It's just Olivia. It's just other people designing their stuff, right? And there is some teams that do it. I understand that. There's groups of people. But again, like, a lot of them are our fellow peers.
Yeah.
So.
And very few of them are teams bigger than what you see sitting in front of you on this podcast. Like a 3-man team is pretty average across the board. You don't have big teams very often. It's not like these are mega corporations. You're not, when you're ripping off these people's designs and supporting the people who are undercutting them, you're hurting individuals.
Yeah. Sorry, Reagan, I covered up your face.
You're not sticking it to the big boys.
But yeah, and that's
easy to say for Chase because he's a mega corporation.
Yeah, mega corporation Chase, dude. Look at those LED lit shelves he has. Mega corporation, dude.
Yeah, you can undercut me. Corporation. All the things I'm selling, you can undercut me all you want.
But guys, I wanted to wrap things up. I think we had a very healthy discussion today. Again, please don't take anything we're saying as what you should and shouldn't do. These are educational discussions like we have every time on Keebcast. I thought today's meetup was pretty cool. I think everyone had a very fun conversation. I'd like to hope so. Thank you guys for teaching me some stuff today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Space and Chase, for coming in, talking. But hopefully you guys found it enjoyable. We'll have this again next Sunday. Next Sunday we actually have Wilba and Olivia on. We're going to be talking a bit about...
Oh, yeah?
We're going to have a bit about VIA. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're going to have a big discussion about that. Maybe some more leaks. Who knows?
Oh, Wilba.
Wait, Wilba, is it not next week? It's next week, right?
Oh, yeah?
It is, right? Reagan, I'm not going crazy. It's next week.
I don't know. I didn't know Wilbo's being on next week.
Anyways, it's next week or something. Scrubs, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. Great cast, guys. I appreciate it.
Great cast, guys.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. I really do. I guess I
am then.
There it is. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see. Actually, I wanted to raid. I know we usually raid Katana, but I want to raid a friend of mine, Keone. If that's okay with you guys, can I raid Keone?
Of course.
All right. I want to raid Keone because he's doing a Wampus build, and I love Keone. He's like an old friend of when I first started streaming. So enjoy Keone's stream, guys. Breaking Edition. I know. Shake my head. Reagan has that black Stellar that I guess will eventually...
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I get one of those.
Go on sale. Enjoy Keone's stream. Thank you guys for coming in. Join up on the Discord. Thank you guys for the support with the bits and the subs. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk soon. Tell Keone I said hello. All right. Peace out, guys. Bye.